Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you. Today I have another DIY project that is my style. I had found a couple of things that were just lying around my house that I wanted to give a little makeover, so that is what today's video is all about. So if you would like to see how I created all of these new pieces in my house, just keep on watching and let's art today. Jumping into the first DIY, as you see here, I have another one of these cheese balls container just lying around my house. I actually use this one for storing some dog food instead of having that big bag, and I actually have two of these buckets that I store the dog food in, and I wanted to give them a makeover because I was tired of looking at this really plastic see-through thing. So first I am removing the lids so that we can start working on the project. The reason I'm starting with the lids is because one of my lids is broken in two places. It actually is cracked. So to fix that, I am using this super glue gel that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I'm placing the gel all over the cracked areas, and then after I have enough down, I am taking a piece of ribbon, cutting it to smaller sizes and placing it on top of the glue just so that the plastic has something to adhere to. I knew I wanted to add more detail to the top of my lid, so I found this tumbling tower game at Dollar Tree. It has a bunch of these wooden pieces because it's supposed to be like the game Jenga. So I took out 3 of those wooden pieces and I'm trying to get a feel of how I want to place them on top of the lid. Once I have the placement that I like, I'm going back in with that super glue gel and I'm placing it all along the sides of the wooden pieces. I am also adding a little dollop of hot glue to the center, and then I'm going to push the wood piece into another wood piece as tightly as I can and remove the excess. After I got all 3 pieces glued together, I did make a second one as well. So once again, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to attach that to the lid and if I wanted to paint it all one color or have different colors. And I decided to go in with a stain. Now I'm using my Rust-Oleum stain in the color dark walnut, and I give it a nice thorough coat and then I remove the excess using a paper towel. I did the same process with the second wooden piece also, and then after that was done, I put it off to the side to dry. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to make all of these crafts more of our style, so I knew something was missing from this lid and I dug around and I found a few of these plastic skull heads, and I thought it would be a great topper on top of those wooden pieces. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm going to take the lid and the skulls and the buckets outside to paint. To make this project go by a little faster for myself, I am using spray paint. It's in the Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte Black, and it does say it bonds to plastic, which will really help this situation because these buckets are made in plastic. So I do give all of the pieces 2 coats of this paint, waited for each coat to dry completely to add the second coat on top. Then I went in with a clear coat and sealed all the spray paint completely. Now that everything has dried completely, I did make a quick setup and I realized that my top just seemed too flat. So I wanted to give it a little bit more height, so I did go in and make 2 more of those wooden pieces. And I'm going to connect each of those pieces together using this super glue gel again and some hot glue, pushing it down firmly so that they adhere together. The next thing I needed to do was glue the skulls onto those wooden pieces. All I'm using to glue them down is my hot glue gun, and I'm making sure that the face of the skull is at the corner of the wooden pieces just for added detail and interest for myself. Now to attach those wooden pieces to the lids of the bucket, I am using a combination of that super glue gel again and some hot glue for quick setup, and then I press it firmly onto the lid, and that is it for the lid detail. Here's how the buckets look once they were put together. And as I was looking at it, I knew that something was missing. I needed something to break up all of that black. So I went into my scrapbooking paper and I found some of this rose gold paper that looked like wood grain, and I thought it would be a perfect piece of paper to break up some of that black. So I am going to fold the piece of paper in half and cut it into two pieces as closely as I can get it to fit in the little divot in that bucket piece. To attach the paper to the bucket, all I'm using is my hot glue gun in the low setting so that I don't burn the plastic, and I'm just putting it on the outer edges of the paper onto the bucket and then pressing down so the paper adheres to the bucket. Now, as you see here, I was having a little bit of difficulties, but I do get through it, and I continue the same process with the second bucket. This is how my two dog food containers turned out. I absolutely love it. I think it's so awesome. It does match our home decor, and I know it doesn't fit everybody's home decor style, but you can always modify it, and I hope this brings you inspiration to fix things that just need a little bit of TLC around your house too. But I absolutely just love this. I would love to know what you think down in the comments section below. Jumping into DIY number 2, I had these green candle holders sitting around my house for quite some time, and I knew that I wanted to give them a little makeover and change. And I also have these wooden boxes. Now, these wooden boxes were originally like this. They fit in there, and Dollar Tree is selling those pretty much all year around, and I wanted to try to make some sort of candle riser or candle centerpiece, and that's how I'm going to DIY this project. The first step I wanted to do was tackle these candles. Now, gold is not really our style. I didn't really like how it looked, but looking back, it's not really that bad. But I did change it. I am using my chalk paint in black, and I'm going to dab that over all over the gold piece, the bottom piece of the candle holder. And I continue this process using all three of the candles in the same style. As I'm painting these candle holders and you are new here and haven't yet subscribed, I would love for you to do that today. All you have to do is click that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to hit the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you when I upload new content, and I would love for you to be part of my virtual art family. Next, it's time to work on these boxes. I'm using a 80 grit sandpaper that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to give each of the boxes a good sanding because I did have paint on two of the boxes, and by doing this, it does help the paint adhere to the wood pieces. After the boxes were sanded and I wiped them off, I am now taking a couple of popsicle sticks and measuring them out of the inside of these boxes. The reason I'm doing this is because these boxes have these cutouts on them, and during this process I didn't want them to be shown, so I'm cutting the popsicle sticks and then I'm going to attach them using my hot glue gun. Now, further on, I did realize that I covered the whole insert, so you don't see those cutouts whatsoever, so that process was unnecessary, but I did still wanted to show you how I did it. To paint those wooden boxes, I'm using my chalk paint in this rich black color, and I give it a good thick one coat of paint to the inside and the outside of each of the boxes. After I painted each of the boxes, I did put them aside to dry completely. To add more detail to my candle holder or candle centerpiece, I want to use more of these wooden pieces from the game that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I just love these things, and you can use them for so many projects. I did take out 16 pieces. I am then taking again my Rust-Oleum wood stain in dark walnut, and I'm going to stain each piece the same way as I stained the other pieces before. I'm adding the stain onto the wooden pieces, taking a paper towel and removing the excess stain. Now that everything had a chance to completely dry, it is now time to assemble everything together. I'm just trying to find a pattern that I like, from the wooden pieces to the wooden boxes. Now that I found a pattern that I like, I will attach everything using another super glue gel and my hot glue. Now, as I was learning how to put everything together, using the hot glue didn't really help. So after a little while, I stopped using the hot glue and just used the super glue gel instead. So as you see here, I stacked two of those wooden pieces on top of each other, and I'll do the same for the other side. Now I'm taking the bigger box that will be the center of the box, and I'm gluing that onto the two pieces that we created on the smaller box. So it was really hard to see before, but like I said, I'm using two of those Jenga pieces and I'm gluing them down using that gel super glue, and I'm gluing them one on top of the other, trying to make it as straight as possible. Then I'm taking an unfinished Jenga piece and I'm hot gluing it behind the two Jenga pieces in front of it, just to give it an instant hold. I did the same exact thing to the other side of the box. Now I'm gluing the smaller box to the bigger box, which is in the center. And I'm just using the gel super glue once again, and I'm pushing firmly as possible so that it can adhere to each other. Now I'm taking two more of the Jenga blocks and I'm using that super glue once again, and I'm placing it in the center of the outer edge of the smaller boxes on each side, and I'm gluing one on top of the other like I did with the other, I guess you could call them feet or decoration. As you see here, there are holes on the top and the bottom of this candle holder, and to cover those holes, I'm using a couple more of those Jenga pieces left over, and I'm using my hot glue to attach them to the boxes, and I will continue this on both sides of the candle holder. This is how my candle holder turned out. I absolutely love it. I love the pop of green with the candle glass itself on top of this black holder with the wooden pieces. I really love it, and it does match our home decor. Now I did make a different decorations on how you can display this candle holder. As you see here, I just flipped it around and it added the candle pieces on top. Now they didn't fit all the way in the smaller candles, but I thought this was unique looking and I really like it. Another way to use this, you don't have to use this for candles, but you can use it for plants, little decorations, little knickknacks if you would like to. So I did add a little bit of greenery in this one, and I just love all three looks, but I'm going to use it as a candle holder. Once again, I would love to know what you think of this DIY down in the comment section below. For our third and final DIY today, it is so simple and easy. All you need is a can of spray paint. I found this dimple vase at Dollar Tree and I just loved the look of it. So all I did for this DIY was take it out and spray paint it using 2 coats of that black matted spray paint that you saw earlier, and that completes this DIY. Like I said, it was so simple and easy, but I just love the outcome. This is how the vase turned out. Like I said, it was so simple and easy. I did give it 2 coats of that matte spray paint, and then I did seal it using a matte clear coat as well. Now all I did was add some greenery, but you can use this vase with any type of decoration that you like, but it does fit my home decor and I love it so much. Once again, here is an overview of everything that I have done today, and I absolutely love the outcome of how everything turned out. I would love to know which one was your favorite that I've done today down in the comments section below. I think the best part about today's DIYs was the fact that I found everything lying around my house, that I didn't have to go out and buy something new, and I hope that inspires you to do the same. If you are new here, I would love for you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. If you would like to help support my channel, I would love for you to check out my Buy Me a Coffee page. The link is in the description box below. And if you do decide to buy me a coffee, you will be featured in my next video as a shout out. Thank you all so much for watching. I really had fun with today's DIYs, and I will see you in the next one.